We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Quite a lot of opportunity from legitimate sportsmen and just the general public who like to go out there and view the wildlife.
Over 1,300 hunting violations have been reported in the last 2 months.
I am lucky enough to get to ski every day.
Get your gear ready because Utah's ski season has officially begun.
And Cyber Monday has arrived with huge online deals. Welcome to Newsline. It's Monday, November 26th. I'm Simeon Toronto.
And I'm Cristina Bolanos. Cyber Monday just keeps getting bigger, and with the numbers we've seen so far about online holiday sales, we could see some records set today.
Of course, Amazon, set to be one of the giants of the day. There's a lot of other big-name retailers adapting their online and in-store strategies to keep up. Karen Kaifa is inside a busy Amazon distribution center in New Jersey with a closer look.
The finale to a blockbuster frenzy of sales, Cyber Monday is capping off a 5-day stretch that started on Thanksgiving Day with shoppers hungry for deals.
Cyber Monday started in 2005. We had less than $500 million in sales. Last year, 2017, it was over $6.5 billion in sales.
And the season is off to a fast start. Retail sales in-store and online on Black Friday totaled $23 billion, according to projections by MasterCard, an increase of 9% over the same day last year. The solid economy putting pressure on individual retailers to perform, but they have to know what consumers want.
You see the bricks and mortar retailers are doing a buy online, pick up in store, or buy in store and deliver at home, so they're using digital strategies.
Numbers from Adobe Analytics showed a sharp increase over last year in online sales on Thanksgiving, up 29% to $3.7 billion, and Black Friday, up nearly 24% to a record $6.2 billion. Cyber Monday gives the traditional retailers like Target, Walmart, Macy's, and more a chance to battle e-tail giants like Amazon on their turf. But with more sales ringing up online and on mobile, scammers see more opportunity.
Go straight to the retailer's website. Don't just Google flat screen TVs, because the ads that pop up could be malicious. They could be out to harm you.
This morning, Governor Gary Herbert ordered the lowering of flags for a fallen police officer. 31-year-old David Romrell of the South Salt Lake Police was killed while responding to a burglary. The suspects in the burglary hit Romrell with their car as they tried to get away. Romrell was then taken to Intermountain Health Center but passed away in emergency surgery. Romrell served in the U.S. Marines before working with the South Salt Lake Police. He leaves behind a wife and a 4-month-old baby. Even though his funeral hasn't been announced, Governor Herbert wants flags lowered whenever the funeral is held.
One person is dead and another is in custody after a shooting in Midvale last night. Unified Police Department responded to 2 calls, one concerning a domestic incident, which led to the second call reporting shots had been fired. Salt Lake Police Department took over the investigation after finding out one of the persons involved was related to a UPD employee. The shooting happened near 7600 South Center Square and is still being investigated.
Republican Congresswoman Mia Love held a press conference today in Utah's GOP downtown offices to talk about the concession and the race.
I reached out to him over the weekend and congratulated him.
Love discussed her official concession in Utah's 4th congressional district race to Democrat opponent Ben McAdams, who won with a very close margin of less than 700 votes. She also talked about her plans to stay at Utah representative and continue to push forward in her career despite losing the Senate seat.
Utah firefighters are coming home from California after the campfire becomes 100% contained. The fire burned for over 2 weeks and claimed at least 85 lives, making it the deadliest fire in California history. Some 249 people are still unaccounted for. The fire scorched more than 153,000 acres, an area roughly the size of Chicago. More than 500 commercial buildings and more than 13,000 homes were destroyed, mostly in the town of Paradise.
Utah has been seeing a lot of snow in the mountains and ski season has started. In the past 72 hours, we've gotten quite a bit of snow, especially in Snowbird with 14 inches. Looks like we have a good base too, and this week we might see a few more inches. Skiers and snowboarders are strapping on their gear and hitting the slopes. The best snow on earth is bringing powder to the canyons, and Sarah Collins is there at Alta Ski Resort to find out what we need to know about the
season in Utah. Many skiers and snowboarders are flocking to get to the good snow at all the resorts that are opening. Alta opened on November 23rd, and skiers are loving the fresh snow.
It's been really fun. We had 9 inches overnight, and so we had some fresh snow, and everyone was super excited to ski. So it's just been a fun day, and everyone's excited to be back skiing, and we're glad it's wintertime.
People both old and young love to ski and snowboard in Utah.
Nice, buddy. Well, it is fun. Like, people are like, oh, okay, I get it now. Because I've been waiting all summer, and then now here we are on opening day. And I am lucky enough to get to ski every day.
Ski season usually lasts from December to March, with some spring skiing in April. Every 5 days, a foot of snow falls during this season.
The snow's been good, a little tracked out now, but that's to be expected.
People who love to ski and snowboard can download apps from Ski Utah, which gives information about powder days, bus routes, resort promotions, and other information to help enthusiasts have the best day on the mountain. Utah has some of the snowiest canyons in the nation, and Alta averages about 550 inches of snow each year.
Another thing that's great about Alta is the way our mountain sits is kind of north facing, so the snow stays good here, and we're at a high elevation, so it really is an amazing place to ski.
People from all over the world come to Ski Utah to take in its beautiful terrain and ski the greatest snow on Earth.
So we're hoping that we have a big snow year this year.
It's projected to be a great ski season this year, and many people are looking forward to all the snow that will be coming. Back to you.
Thanks, Sarah.
The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources documented 1,335 hunting violations over the past 2 months. Reporter Christian Torres tells us how the division is combating poaching in Utah.
Utah has 48 conservation officers, each covering an average of over 1,700 miles. And these officers say hunters actually like to see them.
Most people say driving on the freeway would rather not see a police officer at all unless a car accident occurs. But for hunters, it's the opposite. They love seeing conservation officers patrolling the hunting grounds.
There's a lot of the public that actually desire us to be out there.
Officer Sean Bagley is South Utah County's conservation officer. He says that hunters who play by the rules want others to do the same. Over September and October, conservation officers in Utah contacted over 37,000 individuals, checked almost 14,000 hunting and fishing licenses, and found that 251 animals were killed illegally. It turns out that poaching in Utah is a problem.
It's taken away a lot of opportunity from legitimate sportsmen and just the general public who like to go out there and view the wildlife.
When the division comes across a poached animal, they'll often post it to their Facebook page and ask the public for leads.
The public has a lot more eyes out in the field than just our 48 officers' ability, and they will call us up and say, hey, here's the situation, could you look into this?
Just like the crime shows on TV, officers use forensics and ballistics to find the poachers, or they examine tracks and evidence of vehicles. Despite the frequent violations he has to deal with, Officer Bagley acknowledges that most hunters just want to enjoy the sport.
They're good. They know the resource belongs to everybody, and they want to make sure it's protected for themselves, for futures.
The division's first tip for hunters who want to help fight poaching is to get the license plate number of the offender and then call the UTIP hotline DEER on your cell phone, and the hotline is available 24/7.
Thanks, Chris.
Ukraine is voting today whether to declare martial law. We will tell you why and what this means for the country's relationship with Russia.
I said, right now? He's like, yeah, right now.
A state trooper has an interesting traffic stop. We'll tell you why this minivan was caught speeding down the highway.
And NASA's InSight craft is just moments away from an important landing. We'll tell you when and where it will land coming up next.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
NASA's InSight spacecraft is about to land on Mars. Just moments from now, the NASA InSight that was launched in May will finally land on the surface of Mars. The spacecraft's first mission is to study the deep interior of Mars to help us learn how it and other planets formed. In the next few weeks, the instrument will navigate to its final position and fully calibrate to start doing tests. Ukraine will vote today whether to declare martial law in response to a naval clash with Russia on Sunday. Kiev says that Russian vessels opened fire on 2 gunboats and a tugboat before capturing the vessel and the 23 crew members on board. The attack left 6 Ukrainians injured. Ukraine claims it was an act of aggression, while Russia claims that the boat is illegally enter Russian waters.
British Prime Minister Theresa May finally received a thumbs up on the controversial Brexit deal from European Union leaders. Prime Minister May says that this deal is the best deal for the British people. EU leaders endorsed the deal behind closed doors during a summit this weekend. The formal agreement lays out how the UK will formally leave the EU next March, but the agreement must first go to the British Parliament for formal approval. Mexican officials say that migrants who rushed the U.S.-Mexico border Sunday will be deported. About 500 migrants from countries including Honduras and Guatemala tried to cross the Mexico border at Tijuana illegally, leading to a brief closure of a major port entry between Mexico and the U.S. In some cases, tear gas was used to disperse the crowd. Almost 40 people were arrested.
A routine traffic stop in North Carolina turned into a surprise birthday over Thanksgiving weekend. With a dash camera rolling, Sergeant Brian Maynard pulled over a speeding van on Saturday. There, the State Highway Patrol trooper was confronted by a frantic Jimmy Baker and his pregnant wife Laura, who was in deep labor. Maynard called an ambulance, grabbed gloves and a blanket, then went to the car to help. He delivered Halen, who is not due until Wednesday. One Utah Mall is getting a little more magical this Christmas season. Coming up, we'll tell you where you can buy chocolate frogs and cast some spells this holiday.
Utah's Bryce Canyon is in the off-season. After a break, I'll tell you why this season should be the in-season.
Are you ready for winter? Stay tuned to know when the next storm is headed our way. Next.
See on page 4 that the predictions need to be earthquake. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
The outbreak of E. coli found in romaine lettuce continues. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention announced that 32 people have already been infected in 11 states. The CDC also advises the public to not eat any romaine lettuce because no common grower, supplier, distributor, or brand of romaine lettuce has been identified. This investigation is ongoing, and the CDC will provide more information as it becomes available.
The holidays are officially here, and that means that the shopping has begun. Newsline reporter Taylor Hansen is in Sandy to tell us one way that we can enjoy the magic of this holiday season while out buying gifts.
I'm here at the shops in Southtown, where they've created a Harry Potter shopping experience that you won't find anywhere else.
We were the first in the nation. They opened one in Bangkok last year, but we're the first one in the U.S.
Christmas in the Wizarding World is a retail stop set to look like Hogsmeade Village, where you can play games, take pictures, and buy exclusive Harry Potter merchandise like the popular chocolate frogs and apparel from the newest Fantastic Beasts movie.
They came in, the same designer and architect that built Universal Studios Harry Potter contributed to this, and he was very hands-on in that.
This is the second holiday season that this unique experience is available after thousands attended last year.
We actually just blew up Warner Brothers' expectations of what they thought that this would do, especially in a shopping center.
Christmas in the Wizarding World is a fun time for Potterheads, their families, and even those interested in learning more about the beloved stories.
Our Megaplex Theater in Sandy was the #1 in the country when the first movie came out. It killed all box offices all across the country in sales. So that was one of the reasons they looked at Sandy. They knew that we had a great audience for that.
As the holidays approach, the shops at Southtown hope to share the magic of the holiday season and the magic of Harry Potter with their audiences.
You know, some people, they want to come, they want to dine, shop, eat, but also this is a fun thing that they can't find anywhere else but the shops at Southtown. So it's a really great complement to, I think, that Christmas shopping experience that families are looking for.
You can visit Christmas in the Wizarding World at the shops at Southtown Mall from now until January 21st. Reporting for Newsline from Sandy, I'm Taylor Hansen.
Thanks, Taylor.
Bryce Canyon National Park is one of the 5 national parks located in Utah. This weekend, reporter Berto Sanchez went to Bryce Canyon National Park. Berto, what was the highlight of your trip?
The best part about visiting Bryce National Park is that it's not as crowded this time of year, making nature and the outdoors more enjoyable. Bryce Canyon National Park is located in southwestern Utah. And despite its name, it's not a canyon but a collection of giant natural amphitheaters formed throughout thousands of years.
I think it's gorgeous and it's really majestic. Photos are great to look at, but you really have to be here to really capture the beauty.
Bryce is distinctive due to geological structures called hoodoos, formed by frost weathering and stream erosion. The red, orange, and white colors of the rocks provide spectacular views for park visitors, making this national park a special place for some tourists.
Just a really great place for just to have some nature and to get some healing and stuff like that. So it does have a special place for me.
Each year, over 1.5 million people visit Bryce Canyon, taking delight in the fantastic scenery and recreational opportunities. If you want to avoid big crowds, Bryce Canyon is less busy during this time of year, so you may want to go for a visit soon.
I've never remember walking towards a view as rapidly or with as much anticipation.
Like
as
a
we
child.
Did. Yeah,
like,
I felt like a kid.
Like we all, literally, I started crying because it was so beautiful.
For many visitors, this is an opportunity to do something different, out of the ordinary, explore nature.
Get outside, breathe the fresh air, step away from normal and risk something bigger. And this is it. This is big. This is beautiful.
Whether you stay at a nearby hotel or camp overnight, Bryce Canyon National Park is open 24 hours per day throughout the year, making it easier and accessible for many tourists to visit the scenic park. Back to you.
Thanks, Berto.
Snowstorms across the country this weekend grounded planes, trains, and you guessed it, automobiles. It's a busy time of year for travel, and Mother Nature wasn't lending a hand, especially at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. More than 700 flights were canceled out of O'Hare by Sunday night. Other travelers tried to use the Amtrak rail hubs after their planes were canceled, but they were already packed. There's snow in this part of the United States is causing some travel issues. Hopefully you made it to where you needed to go this Thanksgiving. Our map is getting more and more purple, which means the temperatures are dropping into those 30s and 40s degrees, and that also increases the chances for snow. Specifically for Utah, we see that as the week goes on, we'll be getting more and more cooler temperatures coming, especially along the Wasatch Front, but these deep purples are definitely going to be increasing our chances for snow, but the temperatures are staying pretty moderate. Looking at our Utah weather, we see that there's 41 degrees in Provo, which is the same if you're headed up towards Salt Lake. Down in St. George is 57 degrees for the high, which is pretty nice still, but in Logan and Vernal, it's those 30 degrees, so things are getting really chilly. Looking into our lows, we can see that there are a few teens in Logan, Vernal, and Price, but in Salt Lake and Provo, we're staying in the mid-20s, soon dropping into these teens. So be prepared as those weather are dropping. Looking at our southern week forecast, we should see some rain on Thursday, but the temperatures are warming up just slightly on Tuesday and Wednesday, but will drop with that rain. Our northern forecast, we have similar to Tuesday and Wednesday. For northern Utah, we see that it will get slightly warmer with 48 degrees, but the rest of the week will cool down, and we are looking at the freezing temperatures for our lows this week, but luckily we're still holding in there with the temperate, cool temperatures.
Oh, good. At least we'll have one more day that will be warm. So
it may be warming up a little bit, but it's still frigid when you go out to the car in the morning. I got to turn it on a little bit.
It is so cold. My hair actually froze this morning. It was awful. Anyways, coming up, BYU took on Utah during rivalry week this past Saturday. Find out how it played out and take a look at their final game of the season. Also, the women's volleyball NCAA tournament is right around the corner. Find out who the Cougars are facing this week coming up.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
It had been 3,283 days since BYU got a win over the Utah Utes, and Saturday, nothing changed.
Play action. Wilson. There is Bushman. He's got it, and he's down at the 1-yard line. Touchdown.
BYU came into Rice-Eccles Stadium ready for war Saturday night. The Cougars shut out the Utes in the first half, leading 20-0 at halftime. However, the second half was a different story. Utah scored their first touchdown early, followed by another BYU touchdown, and then a 28-0 run from the Utes to close out the game and give Utah the W for the 8th year in a row. BYU closes the regular season 6-6 and will play in a bowl game which will be announced in the coming weeks. As for Utah, they will be playing number 16 ranked Washington for the Pac-12 title this Friday. BYU women's volleyball will be headed into the NCAA tournament starting this week.
BYU's first opponent.
Despite falling to Loyola Marymount last Tuesday, BYU still appears to be one of the top teams in the country as they received a number 4 seed on Sunday. The 27-1 Cougs will kick off the tournament against Stony Brook University at home this Saturday. The winner of that game will face either Denver or Utah in the next round. BYU men's basketball also had some high hopes Saturday as they went up against the Houston Cougars. BYU went into Saturday on a 5-game winning streak, hoping to take another one at home. Despite a season-high 25 points from TJ Haws, the Cougars could not slow down Houston, who shot 50% from the field and 42% from 3. BYU, on the other hand, only shot 40% from the field and 28% from downtown. BYU will face Illinois State this Wednesday on the road. Despite some disappointing losses this weekend, the BYU women's basketball team was able to lift our spirits. BYU went up against California Baptist this weekend at the SDSU Thanksgiving Classic and was able to come through with a win Saturday. Led by Paisley Johnson's 20 points, the Cougars were able to take down the Lancers 76-69 and now sit at 5-1 on the season. BYU will face Southern Utah tomorrow at 6:30. We'll be right back.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What?
It's National Cake Day, November 26th, marks the national holiday for cake. It also marks the day my co-anchor Simeon Toronto was born. Look at this, we have totally real video from one of Simeon's childhood birthdays. Happy birthday, Simeon!
Oh my goodness, this is unreal. Chocolate's even my favorite, and I didn't even know you guys knew that I was turning 11.
Simeon's 11!
It's a big year for me. I'm really excited. This is so nice of you guys. Thank you.
You want to blow out your candles?
Should I blow them out? Okay, I have 2 wishes then. All right.
All right, sounds good.
I'm not supposed to tell them, right?
No, do not tell them.
I'm going to tell you one of them, and it's going to be broken, but I want to win the bowl game this year.
We'll see what happens.
The second wish is I hope that you guys have a great day, and thanks for joining us here on Newsline.
Have a great day, guys.
Appreciate it.